Now we are going to, we read the Gospel for Pentecost Sunday. A very short Gospel reading, but a very important one. It's very interesting to note that this happened, according to St. John, on the evening of the resurrection. Jesus appeared to his disciples who were afraid. And this happened before Pentecost Sunday, 10 days after this event, Pentecost arrived. Okay, as they were afraid also on Pentecost Sunday of the Jews, because they remember what happened to Jesus, as they were afraid at this time when Jesus appeared to them for the first time after the resurrection. So the greeting of Jesus was peace, peace be with you. The blessings of God be with you. All the good things you can think of. And then he told them that he was sending them, as God the Father has sent Jesus to this world, he was sending his disciples to the world to do the work of Jesus. And Jesus, and for St. John, the most important thing about the obedience of Jesus was it was based on love. So after saying this, Christ breathed on them the Holy Spirit. And what did he say? The sins you forgive are forgiven them, and the sins you retain are retained. So, usually we think about this passage as the reason for the sacrament of reconciliation. But what is interesting here is that the first greeting of Jesus was about reconciliation. And this was because this is connected, I believe, to the commission he gave them to do the work of Jesus for the world. And so, to do that, we must have the disposition of Jesus of being at peace with all people, based on love. So it's very important for any Christian, any Catholic, to have this position of forgiving those people who have offended them. Because if they have not forgiven them, they refuse to forgive, the sins and the consequences of the sins remain, not in the person who offended them, but most probably in the person who was offended, who is not willing to forgive the offender. And this is how I understand this, because he said this right after he said, I'm sending you as the Father has sent me. And Jesus was that first obedient servant, the loving Son, the loving brother of us. So we must have the same disposition as Jesus. And so he gifted us with the Holy Spirit, who is going to enlighten us, to help us. And all we need to do is to want to forgive as God has forgiven us. And if we find it difficult, the Holy Spirit will be there, who inspired us to forgive, who will also enable us to forgive people. And this is how I see the gospel reading evolve based on what happened. So for us to be a true Christian, to disciple of Jesus, we must also be disposed to be at peace with all, forgiving even those who have offended us, as Christ did. Remember what he said on the cross, Father, forgive them. No, I cannot forgive them. He himself asked God to forgive those people who are going to kill him. This is basic in our Christian belief, basic that we have to accept and to believe and to practice. And if not, there's the Holy Spirit who is going to help us make it happen. No? And so, if you have any questions or ahora comentarios, ustedes, any observación.
Tengo una observación. Precisamente lo que usted comentaba acerca de la importancia de ser reconciliado con Dios. Y precisamente el Espíritu Santo es el que nos va a ayudar a hacer eso. Sin una auténtica reconciliación con el Señor a través del Espíritu Santo, entonces queda como a nivel humano. Entonces, en ese nivel nunca vamos a poder ser verdaderamente discípulos de Jesús, porque sin conocer al Espíritu Santo creo que se limitaría solamente a nivel humano. Como yo recuerdo que me decían, ve, confiésate, pero no me decían cuál era el verdadero punto de ir a confesarme, ser reconciliado con Dios, sino se limitaba nada más como cumple el sacramento, pero no tenía en mi mente eso, ¿no? No me ayudaron en mi casa a tener esa realidad.
Okay, so what Philip is saying is that no, we need the Holy Spirit, because if we do not have the Holy Spirit, we cannot forgive, and the word of reconciliation without the Holy Spirit remains on a human level, which is not going to work. But remember this: when we were baptized, we received the Holy Spirit. So it's a question of making ourselves aware that I have the Holy Spirit in me. So it's not something that we have to beg God or to ask Him to give us. He is in us, but again, the problem is we were not made, no, to know this. We are not reminded that we have received the Holy Spirit, and we were not told how it works in our life. So without the Holy Spirit, it's impossible. But we have to remember, if you are a baptized Christian, baptized Catholic, you receive the Holy Spirit. So let Him work in your life, so that all this reconciliation will happen in your life. Anything we hold against another person is an impediment, no, for us to become truly a disciple of Jesus, a truly believer. It's impossible. No? But for us impossible, but for God it's possible, and so we need the Holy Spirit. ¿No? Necesitamos el Espíritu Santo en todo, en todo. ¿No? ¿Hay alguna observación?
¿No? Solamente iba a decir lo que mencionó ahorita. Si no es a través del Espíritu Santo, no hay una auténtica reconciliación ni con Dios ni con nuestros hermanos.
O con nosotros mismos.
No, ni con nosotros mismos. Entonces, invitar a las personas que sabemos que somos bautizados y el Espíritu Santo está dentro de nosotros. Ahora bien, ¿cómo hablar? Si alguien no sabe cómo hablar al Espíritu Santo cuando se presenta una situación de estas, para que el Espíritu Santo nos ilumine y hacerlo de la manera correcta.
No, pero no vamos a hablarle cuando tenemos problemas. Vamos, ahora es el momento, ¿no? Si está mirando, it's not just we have to invoke Him when we have a problem. Now, for example, if you're watching us right now, and if you're a baptized Catholic, baptized Christian, then remember that we have the Holy Spirit in us, and let Him work. How do we start it? If you do not know a person, what do? You greet the person. Say, I don't know you. No, I want to know you. I was told I need you. And so, a good introduction. ¿No? Nomás que cuestión de, siempre yo digo a gente, ¿no? ¿Cómo vamos, pero cómo no me conoció antes, ahora me conoce? Pero ¿cómo empezó usted a hablar conmigo? ¿No? Simplemente por hablarme a mí. Igualmente la mía, ¿no? Espíritu Santo. ¿Ah? Es la cosa. We have to remember this. Debemos que recordar. Lo que es importante es la disposición de la persona. What is important is our disposition. We want to. Huh? For example, there was this lady I talked about many times. Yes, I know, Father, it's not wrong what I'm doing. I want to, but I cannot because of her experience in the past. She admitted that she could not because of her past experience, but she wanted to. And I think the Holy Spirit was there to help her. No? But we have to do that. We cannot pretend that it will go away. No. Nothing negative in our life will go away. We have to confront them. Nada del pasado, cualquier cosa negativa, no va a huir de nosotros. Debemos que enfrentarlo para que se resuelva. Si no, no. Se quedará en el corazón, en la memoria, en nuestro espíritu. Debemos que reconocer, a nombrar. We have to recognize and name that thing, confront it, otherwise it will remain there. And whatever is there will make it impossible to have peace in life. That is why, no, es muy importante también. Cuando hay gente, people say, no, I don't want to be close to God because then I remember all these bad things that happened to me in the past. Precisely. When we want to be reconciled with God, the Holy Spirit helps us remember those things that are buried inside us, deep inside us, so that we can name them and throw them out. Because if we do not name that, if we do not remember what happened in us, that will influence our thinking, our way of dealing with people. There will never be peace. So do not be afraid. If you remember those things, you remember them so that you can give them to God and He will do away with those things. Because if you did not remember, too bad for you, because that negative thing, that thorn, is going to be there and will always bother you. ¿No? And so, entonces, cuando no hemos reconciliado o no hemos enfrentar el problema o cualquier cosa del pasado que no queremos enfrentar esto, se quedará en nosotros. Sí es cierto que no podamos olvidar, pero hay una diferencia. When the person does not want to, we cannot forget, really, no matter what. You may say you want to forget, but it remains there, inside you, your spirit and your heart and your memory. Se quedan ustedes, ¿no? Esta cosa. Entonces, debemos que reconocer, nombrar y sacar y entregar a Dios. We have to, because if not, it remains there until we rename it and give it to God. Then it will not bother us. So, because no matter what happens, our bodies have memories, we have memories, our heart have memories. So until we get them out of our system, of our heart, of our mind, we will have no peace. So do not be afraid if God makes you remember those things. It's your opportunity to take them out and throw them out. And God will give you that peace. It's not depends on God. It depends on us. Depends on us. For example, you remember how do you call that, the therapy that makes you remember those things? ¿Cómo se llama la terapia que nos hace recordar lo que pasó?
Hypnosis.
Hypnosis, ¿no? Hypnosis. Okay. ¿Cómo que hacen ellos? ¿No? Hacen hipnosis, ¿no? A recordar. Y nos saca el terapista. Entonces, tenemos un terapista gratis, con amor, el Espíritu Santo, no tenemos que pagarle. Y Él sabe todo. Entonces, esta cuestión de esto. It's a question of this. We have the therapist, the Holy Spirit. He doesn't have to hypnotize us. He just makes us aware of that. And then if you give it to Him, He will heal us. It's all about reconciliation. It's all about peace. To be reconciled with ourselves, with other people, and with God. That's our mission, principal mission. That's why the first night of the resurrection, the message of Jesus is this: receive the Holy Spirit, be reconciled. Whatever there is in your heart that's preventing you being reconciled, give it to the Holy Spirit and let Him work in your life. The first message. We cannot be true believers, true disciples of Jesus, if there's something in us, negative in us, that we do not want to be resolved. It's impossible. Let the Holy Spirit do His work. Then we can do the work of Jesus for other people. No? Otra pregunta? Any more questions? No? Okay, so if you have any questions, please let us know. Okay, we want to hear from you. As we share. We do this in Spanish and English. Okay, and thank you. And again, write us or comment or have any suggestions. Let us know. Thank you.